So this video is born out of a conversation that I had with someone the other day. And his question to me was, how do I know how many phone calls or appointment requests or downloads I get from my Google paid advertising? So is my PPC, paid advertising on Google, working? Very, very good question. The number of people I come across who just don't know if their paid advertising, particularly on Google, Facebook it applies to as well, they just don't know if it's working. How many phone calls are they getting? How many appointment requests are they getting directly attributable to their PPC campaign? And so this is a bit of a geek fest, but I am going to show you how to do it. Before I do, remember to subscribe to me on YouTube, like this page on Facebook, and make sure you follow me for updates. Okay, so I want to show you this tracking and how we can track off of a website so that we know that our paid advertising is actually generating leads for us. So the tracking I recommend you do from two particular areas. Now I'm going to show you my website as an example. So you need to kind of think, how would this work for your website? But the principles remain the same. Now most websites will have a schedule a phone call, or have a phone number at the top there. And this is very often a click to call. So on a mobile device, you click that number and the phone will automatically connect and start ringing. So that active clicking is trackable, and I'm going to show you how we do that. And also the other way is that I've got this send marker message form on my website, but this could equally be a download of something. It could be request a free consultation. It could be book an appointment form, and that is trackable as well. So we track these using two different mechanisms. This one here, this click to call, all we're doing is we're tracking the click. And in order to do that, we actually need to use just a little bit of code. So I'm not going to go into the details of it, but this is the code on my website. You can see it links out to Calendly. If it was a phone number, someone clicked on it, it would link to the phone number. But then I've got this little bit of code, this Google Analytics code. So on click, I'm going to send an event through to Google Analytics, and I'm going to show you where that picks up. And my event category is called a phone call. And that's what we're going to track, is the event categories as they happen within Google Analytics. I'm not expecting you to know how to add this code to your website. All I want to do is to show you that this is what's possible, so that you can say to your designers and your web gurus, I want Google Analytics click tracking and event tracking added to my website. Mark showed them this video, and they should know how to add it to your website. So I've got that little bit of code, this Google Analytics code installed, which sits behind the code that's on this schedule a call button up here. Now, this one here is a little bit easier to track. So when someone takes action and downloads something from here, they will be sent through to a thank you page. So you might have yourwebsite.com/thank you for requesting an appointment. And it's that thank you page that we are going to track in analytics. So what I'm going to show you is a little bit of Google AdWords and a little bit of analytics, kind of linking the two together to make sure that we're getting this data so that we can make sure that our Google PPC campaigns, our paid advertising on Google, is working better. So the first thing you need to do is go to your analytics. At the bottom, click on admin. And on the right hand side, you should see goals. Now, in this particular account, you can see I've got quite a few goals set up already. But what we're going to do is I'll just show you the process of creating a new goal. So we create a new goal and Google leads us through it. So we're going to call this one, let's say contact us. This is the goal that we're going to be tracking through this button at the top, which is to phone us, and you'll see how this all comes together, so bear with me. And we continue, and we're going to do it as an event. And I showed you that event tracking code that was here on my website. So the event category I've got here is phone call, and Google is going to track every time someone clicks that. Category is phone call. Now all that will happen then is that Google will say every time someone clicks on that button, it sends a little code through to your Google Analytics, and we can track it in events. And that's all that's going to do. We'd click save, but I'm going to click cancel because I don't want to mess up what I've already got on here. So that's how we track the phone call clicks. The next thing is your request an appointment form, free consultation, download or something. Let's track that. So all we do is we create a new goal. You might call it make an appointment, for example. And we're going to say it's a destination, your thank you page. And in here, you put your full website address, www.yoursite, whatever it is, .com/thank you, which or whatever is your thank you page, which says thank you for requesting an appointment. Now, what you can also do at the value in here, I've got this is set up in US dollars, but let's say you charge £65 for your initial assessment, put £65 in there as well, and then Google will track the number of people that have clicked it and tell you the value of all of those conversions. I'm going to leave funnel off for this purposes of this. That's not important for what we're doing here. That's perhaps for a later video. Click save. Okay, now I'm going to cancel this because I don't want this to be messing up my statistics again. So I'm going to discard them. All right, so we're going to imagine we've set all of this up. So we've set up our analytics. And then we can go into Google and we can look at our goals. And we can sort of kind of see what's going on. So for example, this is phone calls from the Invisalign page. So we had 114 phone calls. So that's as people have clicked that button. So imagine this was on an Invisalign page. This is the phone call. This particular code we've got on just on a special offers page, so we know it's a uniquely special offers. When they click that phone call button, we can track that in here, and we can see that 103 have come from Google, 11 have come directly, and we can even go a little bit more detail with that. We can see that was 93 from paid advertising, 11 from direct, and 10 from Google organic search. Okay, so that's useful. So that's really useful information. We can see that of those 114 phone calls, 93 of them over the time period I've got selected came from a Google cost per click paid advertising. So how do we then use that to make sure our Google advertising campaign is optimized for these conversions? Because many times people will say, well, I just want Google to shove people through to my website. Well, that's great, but actually what we want is people to phone. We want them to fill in those appointment forms. So let's optimize our campaign. So let's go to Google AdWords. Now, you've got your, or you have to create your Google AdWords account. And one of the things you'll need to do is to link your analytics. All you do is you click on Tools and Settings, and you go to Linked Accounts. You click on Google Analytics. I'm not going to do this because this will expose a bit too much information about this account to you. But once you click on Google Analytics, it will call up your Google Analytics, assuming you're logged in with the same Gmail address. Then you can then select to pull in your conversions into, or your goals into Google Analytics. What we can then do, so we can go at the top here once we've done that, have a look at the conversions, and now we can see, don't worry about 128, that's just some coding that I use for my own tracking. We've got these phone calls, that's calls from ads, so Google tracks that. That's just if people phone us directly from the advert. But here we've got these phone calls from the Invisalign page. This is the sources analytics that we've pulled in from our website. And you can see, there you go, we've had, in this time period, I've got on AdWords, we've had 51 of those pulled in. I've got a slightly different time frame on AdWords, which is why the analytics is showing 90-something and the Google AdWords is showing 51. So we can see that is triggering in Google AdWords, those paid advertising is triggering phone calls. But let's go a little bit deeper, shall we? We can actually get this working even better. So once we have selected our campaign and we're into the actual campaign itself, we want to be making sure that we're not bidding for clicks. We want to be bidding for this targeting CPA, cost per action. As you can see, getting as many conversions as possible. What we are paying for are the conversions. I am not paying for clicks. I am paying for people to actually convert. And what our strategy is, we've worked out what we want to pay per person to convert. So per phone call, per download, per appointment request is £20.37. What Google will then do is it starts showing our adverts. It goes through a little bit of a bumpy period at the beginning whilst it's learning, and Google uses its learning algorithm to make sure that it shows the adverts to the people most likely to convert. So we're not paying for clicks. We're not paying for the number of people. We're paying for the conversions, which is so much more powerful. It's so much more powerful to pay for that than it is to get people through just on clicks alone. Is to target your cost per action and not let the cost per action go above this £20.37. So basically what Google will do is it will say, well, I know that this particular demographic, if I show it to them, we get a 20% conversion rate. It works out the budget, shows it to the right number of people, knowing exactly how many people will convert and will actually phone you or download or request an appointment. So it's far more important. Let's go. This is far better than looking at just paying for clicks on their own. We're paying for conversions or keeping the conversion cost at a fixed amount. Let's go a little bit deeper. So I want to show you just a couple more things whilst we're here of optimizing your AdWords campaign a little bit more. You should be running your advertising campaign for a multitude of regions and areas around your practice. Now, don't worry about this map at the top. These are the areas I've blocked out because we get lots of traffic from those places. They're blocked out. But as you can see in here, these are some of the areas that we're targeting. And for obvious reasons, you can't see which those areas are because I don't want you seeing what we're doing for this account. But we can see here that I'm now looking at a conversion rate, a cost per conversion, and our conversion rate. So I'm looking here at these conversion rates. So I can see this geographical area here has a 29.41% conversion rate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bid adjustment. So I'm going to do a bid adjustment of an increased bid of 50%. Now, that is not the total amount that we spend on that campaign per month. That is just the bid. So Google, the AdWords works on a bidding strategy. The person that bids the most for any given search term at any given point will be shown at the top. So we want to make sure we're at the top of that bidding. So because I know that this geographical area has a 29.41% conversion rate through to phone calls or requesting an appointment, I'm going to increase my bid by 50%. And so on, 25%. So I'm going to increase my bid by 50%. And this has got a 10.3% conversion rate, a bit lower. So I'm actually going to increase my bid just a little bit, only by 30%. This one has a conversion rate 7%, so I'm going to increase my bid by 20% on these. So we're actually making sure that we are optimizing our geographical locations to get the highest number of clicks, and we're doing that by increasing our bid when people search in those particular areas because we've linked in those areas into our conversion rate. Let's go a step deeper. Let's look at audiences. And we can start to look even more detail of demographics of those people. So let's go into the demographics. Let's look at the ages. This is for an Invisalign campaign. And we can see our different ages we've got down here, the number of conversions that we've had. So we've got 34 conversions have come from people of this age. But we can also see our conversion rate if we look at these amounts down the end here, our percentage conversion rate. So here we've got an 11.76% conversion rate. So okay, perhaps we want to start increasing our bid adjustment for that. Is that the demographic that we want? Well, we don't know. Perhaps there are people that want to be coming in that are between the ages of 55 and 64 that do want Invisalign. Let's test. And so on and so forth. So we can continue to adjust our bids based on the conversions, all from running an advert to a website, which on the basis of it, it's just got a phone number and a form. But because we're tracking that, we can pull in a huge amount of data. So there you have it. Yes, a bit of a geek fest, I know. But I hope you found that useful. Please remember to subscribe to me on Facebook or YouTube. And I look forward to staying in touch. Cheers now. Bye.